Mhm.
I want to talk a little bit about how you and I actually had a discussion, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but privately, in which it's my part of my job to obviously reach out for comments, sometimes for stories. And as the only Black Bachelorette, many times throughout, since you've been the Bachelorette, people turn to you for a comment about racial issues regarding the Bachelorette. So
Yeah.
it's either Mike Johnson, should he be the Black Bachelor? How do you feel about being the only Black Bachelorette at the reunion? Things like that. And I know at one point you expressed, I'm tired of like being that voice always of having to speak out and getting backlash and saying I'm quote bitter. So for me, I responded to you and I said, keep doing that because there are people that need to hear your voice. And so that was a private interaction that we had. But I'm so happy to see you now embracing that completely. And so what created that shift in you?
Yeah, I mean, I distinctly remember that conversation that we were having, and I've always been vocal. I just think now it's being emphasized because of what's happened in our country. I mean, last year when Mike was not picked, I was extremely vocal about it. And I was labeled, as I told you, as being bitter and always complaining and always having a problem with something in the franchise. And it's like, no, I wake up every morning and I see myself as a Black woman. And I'm a part of a franchise where when it comes to who leads it, nobody looks like me. I was having this conversation with a friend where I said, we have now casted for 40 seasons, even though they haven't started Claire's. There has been one person of color in 40 seasons. We have 45 presidents. There has been one person of color. We are literally on par to say that you are more likely to become the president of the United States than you are to be the lead of this franchise. That is insane. And so how can I sit back and be quiet when I am a part of something that isn't as supportive or doesn't reflect who I am? I feel like if anybody was in my position, you couldn't sit quiet about that. So now that this is something that affects the world, and we're sitting here talking about the problem in our country and all these systems that need to be changed, how do I not look back at the system that I'm a part of and speak out towards that? And I don't think that anyone would fault me a higher up in the franchise for saying that. I think that if they reflected on what's been going on and what they've done, they would see the problems in the way that you know, this franchise has functioned.
And I don't know if you can speak to that, but have execs or anybody, I don't know, Chris Harrison, anybody who's at like the face of the Bachelor franchise ever spoken to you about this and said, keep speaking up, we're okay with it?
I think that no one has spoken out to me about as of lately. Oh, well, that's not true. Someone has. But I think that I feel like I've been a little bit a part of the problem. We continue to make excuses as to why we haven't seen this change. You continue to say, oh, well, it's just because the lead hasn't picked a person of color that's gone far enough. Oh, this person was more qualified for this person. Oh, the audience liked this person more, but that's not true. And I spoke out about this last year. Once I saw what they did in Bachelor in Paradise by bringing in somebody who was not even a cast member and Christian to facilitate this relationship between Demi and Christian, I know that that franchise has the power to do whatever they want, including having a lead of color. And it's time to stop making excuses. I sit quiet sometimes and I don't speak out when I know that, no, actually, you really could do more if you wanted to. And so I think that when I look at what's happening in our country and then I look at the franchise, I can't continue to be affiliated. It's embarrassing, honestly, at this point, to be affiliated with a franchise who is not on the right side of this.
Right. I know you said that you didn't want to talk about this too much, but Hannah Brown, she has issued a new video within the past couple of days, a lengthy video with an apology about her saying the N-word or singing it. You were outspoken about the fact that you thought that her initial apology wasn't really good enough, and then that you had invited her to do an Instagram live with you, and then she later rescinded that, whether because it was through her team or whatever the case may be. What are your thoughts on the most recent video apology that she gave?
I mean, I don't want to critique an apology. An apology is an apology. It was solid. And it was heartfelt, which is exactly what I would expect when it takes you 2 weeks to put out an apology. I mean, it should have been all those things. It's 2 weeks.
She mentioned in that apology that she's doing a lot of time right now to educate herself. I mean, what do you think about that? I know you said you don't want to judge her apology too much, but do you believe that that's the best course of route? Do you think it was genuine what she said?
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge if, you know, your apology was genuine or not. If you're gonna, I wanted her to do a live video, so people could see her, and she did it, and it came across as genuine to me. And I'm not gonna judge what was in her heart. You know, I know when I talked to her on the phone 2 weeks ago when it happened, she was upset at what she did. So I feel like her apology was genuine. I think the thing is there were a lot of things that were promised in the apology as far as she's going to take action. And so I think people are watching for that. I think it's, well, okay, well, let's see what you do at this point. You know, apology is one thing, you promised action. So let's see what action.
Right. That's a good point. So I'm assuming you guys haven't been in touch. Do you plan on maybe having any more conversations with her?
No, I mean, I don't plan on having any conversations. Neither one of us have reached out to each other at this point.
And if she did, would you be open to talking to her?
I mean, sure. I don't think I would do a live like I had proposed before, but you know, anybody who's willing to learn and to grow, you know, based on their own admitted ignorance, I'm not going to be the one to push you away from that. You know, if you have a question, I'd be more than happy to answer it.